Hey everybody, it's Cypris, and for those of you who are new to this channel, welcome to the wild. This video is the first day of the Greece trip where we really get into what the trip's actually about and connect with the Greek gods. Alright, so I hope you enjoy our second full day in Athens, and our footage for the morning picks up at the admissions gate for the Temple of Zeus.
I went to look for the contact solution.
Oh.
And I came back and looked in the bathroom, and guess what?
There was some?
They threw the contacts out. It says you don't need to see everything.
Well, this
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, we give it right there. Thank you. Θα σας βρούμε μέσα. Θα σε βρούμε μέσα. Do it again now.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Enjoy your video. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so keep that as your memory. This is where we're going to go first. Keep it as your memory. Yeah, keep it as your memory.
We have just come to see the Temple of Zeus.
Oh, gotcha. It's a memento. It's a memento.
I'm kind of like, keep it all here.
Just to let you know, before they actually brought themselves to the temple, they always first brought the offerings. The offerings were very important. So that could be offerings that would be sacrificed, or offerings that would give to the temple, or it can be animals all the way to food, like rice. Then they will go and wash themselves. It's always to take a bath. In a lot of ancient traditions, like in India, you still take a bath before you go into a temple. So they have kept, the whole body. You'll take a bath. And then, this is the Temple of Zeus, which is the father of the gods, right? And here they can tell us where all of these things is, and if you guys want to take a photo and just have a feeling of it, if you're interested in that. So you have few temples in here, like it will be the Roman baths where they took their houses, people stayed here, the basilica, so we see all that. Not all of them are up, because a lot of them are falling down. And then the center one's the sanctuary of Zeus. We don't call him Jupiter, we call him Jupiter is the Roman word. So I'm just saying, if you want to have a picture of it, well, she's taking everything.
Trying to catch it all.
She's going to catch it all. All right, so we just enter. That in 2002, I think it was, he got money from NASA when NASA went to Mars, and they came in here and this incredible orchestra and ancient Greek, and they were calling God Zeus to come down.
Oh, wow.
So if we find it, we'll meditate on that. It's very, very, very powerful. That's Lykavitos. That's another mountain, but it's a Greek church.
what you're seeing where we all sit down here is we're gathering for our first meditation as a group. I didn't actually film any of it because we were really new as a group and I didn't know whether people were going to be comfortable or not. So a little background, I went into this trip fully expecting to learn about the 12 Olympian gods, that we were going to visit temples and do it in a way that was spiritual, not just touristy or academic. I was not expecting, however, the focus that this ended up taking. Basically, what happened when we sat down to meditate under the shade of the trees at the Temple of Zeus, one of the first things Zephy had us do after we got the energy going, she asked us to picture ourselves there, like when it was a going concern, the temple. And lo and behold, images came into my mind. It was the craziest thing. I could see myself wearing white robes, lots of bling, lots of bling, everybody running around, and I'm making sure everybody's doing what they need to do. Like, I'm getting this sense of making sure that all of the offerings are going to the right place and that all of the people working at the temple are doing what they need to do for the incoming crowds and also for the event, whatever it was going to be. There was a sense that it was go time, this big event going on, and I was kind of just blindsided by this image because it never occurred to me that I might have any past lives in Greece. They had never come up before. So that happened. We're all having experiences like that. I'm not going to share anybody else's because they're not my experiences to share. When we were done with that first meditation, I was quite shaken because it just wasn't ready for it. I've had those kinds of experiences before, but it was just not what I was braced for. So after we had that zinger at the Temple of Zeus, we headed for the Acropolis.
Everybody has like This is the Greek gate. This is the Greek gate.
The signature.
I have some. Are you
circle gets smaller and smaller.
Where
So small. The rush of such a huge shift. School in this days of your life. It does get overwhelming. That smallness is so important, right? I have to focus on the back and the forward. And I have to also remember to look up. There'll be more letting go versus letting go. It is, isn't it? I had no idea that I could feel that kind of love. Right? Right. Yes. Yep. I think that's natural. I just felt natural. The most dangerous place I've ever been.
They probably all ran away after that.
And here we are at the base of the Acropolis.
In the middle?
Get in line to go up there.
More gratitude the better.
See it?
They're made from wooden wood. The trees, the leaves from the trees, everything. This? Leaf? Is this building?
So those poets come here and do all their poetry on it. Yeah, we're not supposed to go out there. We're not allowed. If you go to the North Building here, the children will stand and they still do that.
Yeah, I would say.
We all play there.
Oh, this is so lovely.
We live in Sedona, so we're used to hiking up there.
On the way up, as we were walking up the slippery, rocky slope, the old road all the way up to the Acropolis, I really had a sense of the processions, especially the cattle coming up. So many hooves on these stones. I was very struck being in that space and knowing that a couple thousand years ago the space was being used in that way. So it felt really solemn walking up because of just how many animals and people had walked up that path.
There is no empty space. It's the sea, okay? Down there.
That's the sea?
It's not the sky, but it shows like it's the same. After all these houses, this is the sea.
I'll have to take your word for it.
We will see. We will better see it from the top.
What was the name of
over
it?
there. Philopapu. It's over there, the building over there. Yeah, it's Philopapu.
Gorgeous.
So normally we do a lot of ancient Greek ceremonies there. Yeah, this is where we come in tonight.
Cool.
It's natural acoustics. You won't see microphones anywhere. They do it with their voice. The chairs rebuilt it, but that was because they had to. But it's original marble. Whenever they found marble, they rebuilt it. So here when they come tonight. And the lighting is amazing. The way they do it. So the sea is over there. I used to come here all the time in school. So what happened to me when I was probably, the first time I came, I was probably 7. I started crying as soon as I was walking out. And I sat, the whole class went into the thing, and I didn't know why. And then I realized that I used to sit here and teach when I was little, because this was like a school. It was an area that will come and you learn, will experience and really, you know, get the information. So then I realized why. So I had no idea that I was so connected to this. So if you guys get any feelings here, just be aware of them. Now we can translate them, correct? We're not 7. So do you know the story of Athena and Poseidon? Or do anybody you know? Okay. So when the Athenians wanted to give a name to this town, they had no idea what to call her, to call the town. So they got 2 gods. One was Poseidon, and the other one was Athena, of course, the brothers and sisters. They said, okay, we're going to do like a little contest and see who is going to win. So Poseidon threw his trident down, and water came out. It's like a flood of water, because he's the god of water. So the Greeks looked at that and like, I don't know, we want to be flooded all the time. So then Athena took her staff and the olive tree branch of the olive tree. That's why the olive tree is so powerful here. You see olives, there's olives there. So they decided that's what the Athenians wanted. The Athenians were very, very, very sophisticated. They were very much into the arts, into the culture, which is where everything begins. So none of them wanted to have fights, none of them wanted to have struggles. They all wanted just to be in beauty and in peace, and so they chose Athena. Well, that's how we got the name. So Parthenon got built because of Athena. Well, there was a statue in the center that doesn't exist anymore. Over maybe 20 feet. It was huge, and it was all gold, but it's gone because a lot of the pieces in Parthenon, they cut them, and English people took them or French took them. So we're all over the museums everywhere. You know, we're trying to get it back from England because the guy who took it, was a lord, and what he did is he used to take pieces of statues, put them in boxes, and if they didn't fit the boxes, he would cut the hand off. He would cut the head off. That's why the Aphrodite of Milo, she has no head, because they cut her head off because she didn't fit in boxes. So he took chlorine, and actually scraped to make the statues white. He ruined the original thing. He had people with chlorine and scraping it with stones and rock. Oh, it was horrible what they did. So they don't want to give it back. We want what was stolen. So they stole from everywhere, from Egypt, from wherever they went. Okay, so this is where the virgins of Athena were. Okay, one of them there is not real. One of them is missing, and one of those English disastrous monster, no, I'm joking, took it, and the story goes that the night that she was taken, the Greeks were actually here, the rest of them cried, because their sister was taken away from them. So we do have all the reels in the museum, you see them, but we're missing that one. Normally everything was built on the east, as we said, and the altar was on the east. The goddess, the Caryatids, are looking at her. Also, they wore white, but the red, they wore it as an honor and as an honor piece. It's because they will wear red like a scarf or like a fast, around them. Yeah. It was for a specific ceremony that had to do with the blood and it had to do with the moon. So red represents, and that's a very sacred, tantric, as we know the word now, ancient ceremony. You do around there and then come down the other way and then come out. So it's up to you. If you want to go down the stairs, you can. I know it's been really intense. No, you have to come back to the stairs to go that way. Okay. Let's just go do the round first.
The beautiful guy passed.
Where? Where? Show me.
He said, let the beautiful guy pass. And she.
Yep.
Better than you.
Y ahora, yo les necesito.
Εμείς όμως μισή ώριτσα θέλουμε.
A shower.
Κάτω από τον Παρθενώνα, εγώ στα Θεμέλια.
So this tree that we're all sitting under, this is where we stopped to have a meditation on the Acropolis itself. This one wasn't quite as powerful, probably only because it was so crowded, there was so much congestion, there were so many people around that it just wasn't easy to surrender to the energy or spirit or whatever terms you use for that. Even so, when I was sitting on the Acropolis and we were doing that meditation together, what I got during that meditation was this awareness of so many people coming and so many things to do. And it was really interesting because the energy of it was very similar to the energy of the people around, in that there were all these people coming to see this place and it was really a big deal. And so that was similar, but it wasn't similar in the sense of the ritual involved, the purpose, the spiritual aspect of it. But definitely got a real sense of the energy of all of the people using the space over this vast amount of time.
That's where you see where we're sitting and eating, so we go sit lunch there. And that's Zeus. And that's the stadium where Olympics started. You see the stadium all the way in the back? Yeah, that's where the Olympics started.
So after the Acropolis, we went down to the Acropolis Museum to have lunch, and that was lovely.
Εκεί θα φύγουμε. Ναι. Εκεί θα μείνουμε.
Το μάξι πότε θα φύγεις.
Θα το φέρω.
Sorry, I'm starting to eat because I got soup. Is that okay? Thank God I didn't open my big mouth.
I'm panning.
Looks good.
Yes.
Let's speak. Sorry. Ναι, άμα είναι εύκολο έτσι.
Εσύ από πού θα πάρεις?
Για τους στέλνεις στο ξενοδοχείο να βοηθήσει. Ναι.
Οι άλλοι που την έχουν φέρει θα τους βολέψουν.
Ελάτε και με πάρε. Ελάτε να με πάρε. Έτσι για τους βάλεις.
So after lunch, we headed into the museum. In much of the museum, we couldn't film, so you're going to see clips of the places where we could. And while we were in the museum, Zephy instructed us to meditate, to sort of just feel, just experience the artifacts without overthinking them. A lot of the artifacts that were pulled up from the Acropolis are in the museum. And you can actually get pretty close to them. You can't touch them, but you can get right up close. As I was going through the museum, I was struck by the fact that I was having an emotional reaction to the art. We were discussing as a group, they seem to have a life energy, like you could almost expect to see these statues just move. I don't know what that is, if it's because they've been around so long or because they were carved so well, but there's this sense of kinetic energy ready to take effect in them. When I got to the part of the museum that has the Caryatids, I still don't know how to say that, Caryatids, the female figures that are the posts for that exterior porch, at the Temple of Athena that looks toward the Parthenon. They're positioned on a makeshift porch so that they're standing like they did when they were actually in situ on the temple. And I had to go around and walk in among them. So I walked in as if I were walking out onto that porch, and it was so familiar. It was like something I'd done 1,000 times. Like I knew the spot where I was accustomed to standing and just looking out and watching everything and thinking. Like there was a definite, like, that's my spot, that's where I stand. It was really trippy. These carvings, statues, they were so familiar, and like, I don't know, is it a memory? Hey. Or am I just, I don't know, but so there it was. This is really trippy stuff, you guys. So that happened. Hi. Yeah, I love you too. What, hon? I know. Okay, so after all of that, we gathered for dinner at a restaurant. It was in that area of Athens that's at the foot of the Acropolis.
Yeah, we can get this small fish. We can get the small shrimp. I think Makisha will eat this. Then we're going to get the cheese that is from the island of Cypris. Huh? None for you?
No. That sounds good enough.
And we played this game throughout the whole trip. This is kind of like using oracle cards. We had a different card for each of the 12 gods, and we would every day pick a card, read what that god means, and internalize it for ourselves for that day.
So these are cards I made with Zephy's lovely help that are all the different Greek gods. It's like a sort of mini tarot deck. But I thought each day we could pick one and have a message from whatever those Greek gods are, speak to us and think about it.
So I got a Apollo. So the front says, I express my creativity and honor the beauty and light in my life. And the back says, when Apollo appears for you, this is a time to express your creativity and honor the beauty in your life. Apollo helps you unlock your creative power and illuminate the glory and perfection that you are. Apollo's message is to know your inner beauty and shine your precious contribution into the world.
Nice.
We got Athena, okay?
All right. That is really fun.
Okay, let's hear it.
Flame. Oh, Apollo and Athena.
I think it fits.
Really? Here. Wow. I tend to take fire on ice to red and create a storm. Wherever I go. That's true. You are like a mama. Love it. All right. Hades. Where did you get? Hades?
Hades. I let go of all that is not working and welcome the power of ultimate transformation. When Hades appears for you, this is a time to let go of all that is not working and welcome the power of ultimate transformation. Hades helps you embrace the endings in your life so you can experience new beginnings. Hades' message is to be unafraid, to accept the natural death of things, and to be open to what needs to change in your life. That is spooky.
That's really good.
Everything can be spooky today.
Here's for you. This is a time to claim your place in the world without fear or hesitation. Athena helps you to conquer your internal foes and triumph over your limitations. Athena's message is to be proud of who you are, listen to your inner wisdom, and embody your peaceful warrior spirit.
Wow. Aphrodite. Alright. I give and I receive love easily to myself and to others.
I would have seconded that.
I enjoy the romance and passion of life. It's definitely me.
Very true.
When Aphrodite appears for you is a time to give and receive love easily to yourself and others and to enjoy the romance and passion of your life. Aphrodite helps you to awaken your enthusiasm and delight for the beauty available to you. Aphrodite messages let love flourish and guide you in the decisions and actions.
Oh,
Awesome.
I think you would very embody Aphrodite. Thank you. I got Hera. I honor my commitments and relationships. When Hera appears for you, this is the time to honor your commitments and relationships. Hera helps you be connected to others and present and open with your needs and your desires. Hera's message is to stay true to yourself and be honest in your dealings with others.
Nice. This is moussaka. It's very typical Greek. It's meat with a layer of bechamel and eggplant.
So we had a lovely dinner and did the cards. Oh my goodness.
It becomes alive. I love how that tail is shaking.
That's awesome. Wow.
Like they believe they're mythological.
So after dinner, we made our way back up the pathway to the Acropolis to see a Greek play performed in Greek. We had subtitles, and it was in the ancient theater on the Acropolis. So that was a singularly phenomenal experience, if only for the ambiance.
But you have extra stuff you want to drop
We
off?
bought all that stuff, and I don't know if I want to I don't know if I've got any more room.
Okay, just give it to me in a bag. I'll take them in. Yeah.
Do you think I should? Are we going to need like a priestess dress for Delphi?
Yes.
Bring one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
If you have any whites, bring them.
Whites for Delphi?
Yeah.
Delphi?
Mostly white.
You guys, we are
I got it.
the theater and the Acropolis, and we're going to watch a play. Well, I'm going to watch a play. I don't know if I can film it.
Yes, you do. Yeah. I would not have spotted that.
That doesn't sound like it.
It's more like it's got a little bit of
It does.
Wow.
The light, it's a Canon. Canons are really good with color.
Yeah. That looks amazing.
because there is one. The farmers of Vermont.
And you get to see a little sneak peek of the actual play. Shh.
I prostiges erano messi degli nemici scritti. Polites schissete qua.
Όταν έφυγες δηλαδή ξάπλου, ένας πόπος μου διέλυσε τα σοφικά.
Για γυναίκα.
Για τα μελέτητα! Και θα δεις τι έχεις να πάθεις. Λίγο να τα κάνω πάνω μου.
Συντάξω εσύ, ή το τατάτας. Τι θες τα τατάτας, το πάνω τα τατάτα. Και λακή έμπλεξα εγώ.
So that was a modern rendition of Aristophanes, The Frogs, and that was our second full day in Athens. Stay tuned because our next destination is Mount Olympus, and it's every bit as exciting as it sounds. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll tune in for the next one for the whole series. If you want to stay connected and you don't want to miss any videos, definitely hit subscribe, and don't be shy. Go ahead and leave comments down below and keep it wild.